You're turning right onto a dual carriageway. What should you do before emerging? Option A. Position your vehicle well to the left of the side road. Option B. Check that the central reservation is wide enough for your vehicle. Option C. Stop, apply the parking brake and then select a low gear. Option B is correct. Check that the central reservation is wide enough for your vehicle. Before emerging right onto a dual carriageway, make sure that the central reservation is deep enough to protect your vehicle. If it isn't, you should treat the dual carriageway as one road and check that it's clear in both directions before pulling out. Neglecting to do this could place part or all of your vehicle in the path of approaching traffic and cause a collision. You're looking for somewhere to park your vehicle. What should you do if the only free spaces are marked for disabled drivers? Option A. Use one of these spaces. Option B. Wait for a regular parking space to become free. Option C. Park in one of these spaces but stay with your vehicle. Option B is correct. Wait for a regular parking space to become free. It's illegal to park in a space reserved for disabled drivers unless you're permitted to do so. These spaces are provided for people with limited mobility who may need extra space to get in and out of their vehicle. How will you benefit from following the manufacturer's service schedule for your vehicle? Option A. Your vehicle will be cheaper to insure. Option B. Your journey times will be reduced. Option C. Your vehicle will remain reliable. Option C is the right answer. Your vehicle will remain reliable. All vehicles need to be serviced to keep working efficiently. An efficient engine uses less fuel and produces fewer harmful emissions than an engine that's running inefficiently. Keeping the vehicle serviced to the manufacturer's schedule should also keep it reliable and reduce the chance of it breaking down. You're stopped at the side of the road. What must you do if you'll be waiting there for some time? Option A. Apply the steering lock. Option B. Switch off the engine. Option C. Use your headlights. Option B is correct. Switch off the engine. If your vehicle is stationary and is likely to remain so for some time, you must switch off the engine unless you're stationary in traffic or diagnosing a fault. Why do motorcyclists wear bright clothing? Option A, they must do so by law. Option B, to make them more visible. Option C, the colours are popular. Option B is correct, to make them more visible. Motorcycles and scooters are generally smaller than other vehicles and can be difficult to see. Wearing bright clothing makes it easier for other road users to see a motorcyclist approaching, especially at junctions. What should you be aware of if you've just passed this sign? Option A, you can't stop on this road. Option B, this is a single track road. Option C, all traffic is going one way. Option C is correct. All traffic is going one way. In a one-way system, traffic may pass you on either side. Always be aware of all traffic signs and understand their meaning. Look well ahead and react to them in good time. How can you reduce the risk of your vehicle being broken into at night? Option A, park in a poorly lit area. Option B, park in a quiet side road. Option C, leave it in a well-lit area. Option C is correct. Leave it in a well-lit area. Having your vehicle broken into or stolen can be very distressing and inconvenient. Avoid leaving your vehicle unattended in poorly lit areas. What should you do if you see a pedestrian waiting at a zebra crossing? Option A, be ready to slow down or stop to let them cross. Option B, go on quickly before they step onto the crossing. Option C, stop before you reach the zigzag lines and let them cross. Option A is correct. Be ready to slow down or stop to let them cross. By standing on the pavement, the pedestrian is showing an intention to cross. By looking well ahead, you'll give yourself time to see the pedestrian, check your mirrors and respond safely. What does 25 mean on this motorway sign? Option A, the number of the next junction. Option B, the speed limit on the slip road. Option C, the distance to the nearest town. Option A is correct, the number of the next junction. Before you set out on your journey, use a road map to plan your route. When you see an advance warning of your junction, make sure you get into the correct lane in plenty of time. Last-minute harsh braking and cutting across lanes at speed is extremely hazardous. When should you update your vehicle registration certificate? Option A, when you have a collision. Option B, when you move house. Option C, when your vehicle needs an MOT. Option B is correct, when you move house. As the registered keeper of a vehicle, it's up to you to inform DVLA of any changes in your details, for example, your name or address. You do this by completing and sending off the relevant section of the registration certificate. You're about to drive your car. What should you do if you can't find the glasses you need to wear? Option A, drive home at night so that the lights will help you. Option B, borrow a friend's glasses and use those. Option C, find a way of getting home without driving. Option C is correct. Find a way of getting home without driving. If you need to wear glasses for driving, it's illegal to drive without them. You must be able to see clearly when you're driving. What can people who live or work in towns and cities do to help reduce urban pollution levels? Option A, drive short journeys. Option B, walk or cycle. Option C, over rev in a low gear. Option B is correct, walk or cycle. Using a vehicle for short journeys means the engine doesn't have time to reach its normal operating temperature. When an engine is running below its normal operating temperature, it produces increased amounts of pollution. Walking and cycling don't create pollution and have health benefits as well. Where should you take particular care to look for motorcyclists and cyclists? Option A, on dual carriageways. Option B, at junctions. Option C, on one-way streets. Option B is correct, at junctions. Motorcyclists and cyclists are often more difficult to see at junctions. They're easily hidden from view, and you may not be able to see them approaching a junction if your view is partially blocked, for example, by other traffic. When are you allowed to use hazard warning lights? Option A, when stopped and temporarily obstructing traffic. Option B, when parked on double yellow lines to visit a shop. Option C, when travelling slowly because you're lost. Option A is correct, when stopped and temporarily obstructing traffic. You mustn't use hazard warning lights while moving, except to warn traffic behind when you slow suddenly on a motorway or unrestricted dual carriageway. Never use hazard warning lights to excuse dangerous or illegal parking. Why is it a good idea to plan your journey to avoid busy times? Option A, your journey time will be longer. Option B, it will cause more traffic congestion. Option C, you'll have an easier journey. Option C is correct. You'll have an easier journey. No one likes to spend time in traffic queues. Try to avoid busy times related to school or work travel. What should you do when you see these horse riders in front? Option A, slow down and be ready to stop. Option B, switch on your hazard warning lights. Option C, pull out to the middle of the road. Option A is correct. Slow down and be ready to stop. Be particularly careful when approaching horse riders. Slow down and be prepared to stop. Always pass wide and slowly, and look out for signals given by the riders. Horses are unpredictable. Always treat them as potential hazards and take great care when passing them. You have to arrive on time for an appointment. How should you plan for the journey? Option A, prevent other drivers from overtaking. Option B, plan to travel at busy times. Option C, allow plenty of time for the trip. Option C is correct. Allow plenty of time for the trip. Always allow plenty of time for your journey in case of unforeseen problems. Anything can happen, for example, punctures, breakdowns, road closures, diversions and delays. You'll feel less stressed and less inclined to take risks if you aren't pushed for time. You're following two cyclists as they approach a roundabout in the left-hand lane. Where would you expect the cyclists to go? Option A, straight ahead. Option B, right. Option C, any direction. Option C is correct, any direction. Cyclists approaching a roundabout in the left-hand lane may be turning right, but may not have been able to get into the correct lane due to heavy traffic. They may also feel safer keeping to the left all the way around the roundabout. Be aware of them and give them plenty of room. What should you do if you park on the road when it's foggy? Option A, leave dipped headlights and fog lights switched on. Option B, leave parking lights switched on. Option C, leave dipped headlights switched on. Option B is correct, leave parking lights switched on. If you have to park your vehicle in foggy conditions, try to find a place to park off the road. If this isn't possible, park on the road facing in the same direction as the traffic. Leave your parking lights switched on and make sure they're clean. What should you do about driving if you've been taking medicine that causes drowsiness? Option A, ask someone to come with you. Option B, only drive if your journey is necessary. Option C, avoid driving and check with your doctor. Option C is correct. Avoid driving and check with your doctor. You aren't fit to drive if you're taking medicine that makes you drowsy. Check with your doctor if you're unsure. You mustn't put other road users, your passengers, or yourself at risk. What would you do if you see older people crossing the road ahead? Option A, tap the horn in case they're hard of hearing. Option B, be patient and allow them to cross in their own time. Option C, wave them across so they know that you've seen them. Option B is correct. Be patient and allow them to cross in their own time. Be aware that older people might take a long time to cross the road. They might also be hard of hearing and not hear you approaching. Don't hurry older people across the road by getting too close to them or revving your engine. What should you do when you're approaching traffic lights that have red and amber showing together? Option A, stop because the lights are changing to red. Option B, pass the lights if the road is clear. Option C, wait for the green light. Option C is correct. Wait for the green light. Be aware that other traffic might still be clearing the junction as you approach. A green light means you may go on, but only if the way is clear. How do smart motorways prevent traffic bunching? Option A, by using variable speed limits. Option B, by using minimum speed limits. Option C, by using advisory speed limits. Option A is correct, by using variable speed limits. When a smart motorway is operating, you must follow the mandatory signs on the gantries above each lane, including the hard shoulder. Variable speed limits help keep the traffic moving and also help to prevent bunching. What does this sign mean? Option A, road noise. Option B, side winds. Option C, adverse camber. Option B is correct, side winds. A warning sign with a picture of a windsock indicates that there may be strong side winds. This sign is often found on exposed roads. You're on a road that's only wide enough for one vehicle. What should you do if a car is coming towards you? Option A, pull into a passing place on your left. Option B, pull into a passing place if your vehicle is wider. Option C, pull into a passing place on your right. Option A is correct. Pull into a passing place on your left. Pull into the nearest passing place on the left if you meet another vehicle on a narrow road. If the nearest passing place is on the right, wait opposite it. How many questions did you get correct? Share your score in the comments and continue practicing to improve your results. If this video helped you prepare for your theory test, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more DVSA-style practice tests, road sign quizzes, and driving theory revision. Stay focused, keep learning, and good luck with your test.